Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the murk, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures. 3-course meals for dinners. 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different. Cause the bag is different.
This can't come out.
Their wedding's gonna be lit, boy.
Are they engaged yet?
No, but I feel like it's coming.
It's coming. And do you know what the thing is? This you can't obviously air this.
Okay.
It's not fair. But like, I think it puts a lot of pressure on them.
On who?
On them too, because it's like obviously they're gonna do stuff in their own time. Like they've just got their house and whatever, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're next," and everyone's like chatting, and you're like, "Oh, that wedding's
It's not
gonna
really
be lit."
pressure. It's not pressure.
It's pressure.
Well, would you say more so pressure than someone that hasn't got a boyfriend?
Yes,
You
because
think so?
if you don't have someone there, no one's visualizing anything. So it's a thing where you're speaking more aspirationally, whereas they.
Okay, why isn't it happening? Why isn't it happening? So everyone put pressure on them as like this should be happening straight away.
Yes.
But it's the funny thing is, it's one of those ones where you can just put sometimes an engagement ring can just shut people up for a few years.
Yeah. No, but I don't think so.
What? Absolutely. I know people have been engaged for ages. The
But not
pressure
with them,
comes
though.
once you get engaged, I reckon.
Yeah, I think the pressure is just the hyper visibility because, like what you just said, you was like, "Oh, their wedding's gonna be lit."
No, but I'm saying it's gonna be lit, but I didn't say it's gonna be soon.
No, but how do you know it's gonna be lit? What if they wanted to have what if they wanted to elope, and now you put this expectation that first of all you're invited,
Yeah,
and second,
easy. I can easily not be invited. Oh my god, you know what I mean? What? James's wedding, I got what was it? I got sent the save the date.
Yeah.
People love sending me a save the date. Yeah,
I'm not sending you the wedding invite, boy. Do you know what? Weddings are actual.
I feel it though.
Tough. They're tough. It probably just slipped their mind.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones. I never ever take it personally. You know what the fuck? This is your fucking day.
I know.
I'm saying.
But anyway, so
Yeah, I'm either best man, a groomsman, or I'm not invited. That seems to be the pattern.
That's crazy. I mean, if I had a wedding, I would invite you.
Yeah, I know you would. I would expect to be invited to your wedding, depending on how big it is, isn't it?
I don't think I'm gonna.
I like to play. Hold on 1 second. You're invited. That's the game I like to play.
No. I wouldn't have a wedding because.
You wouldn't have a wedding?
No.
Why wouldn't you have a wedding?
I think they're fun to.
I think you're gonna get. You can get guys by saying shit like that.
No, but just because I'm
Come
not.
a bit closer to.
Just because I'm not having a wedding doesn't mean that I'm not having an expense. I would rather take.
If you don't have a wedding, there's no expense that you can talk about that will make it.
No, there is. I'm about to tell you.
Let me hear this.
So it's my dream, yeah. You know, I used to work on the cruise ships.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I've been wanting to like take a cruise as a guest. No, because I've been wanting to take a cruise as a guest since I left working there. And cruises are expensive, very expensive. But now they've got the Virgin ones, so they're adult only. I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
Adults only, and what you do is cruise ships are all inclusive. So all of your meals. Sometimes you have like a add-on package where you get unlimited alcohol and stuff like that. But the one that I've seen is Asia. I think it's like Dubai, then Singapore, then India, then something. It's £10,000 per person.
£10,000 per person for a cruise.
For a cruise.
For how many years?
It's like, it's no more than 14 days. It's no more than 14 days.
Explain why is it so expensive? Why would that be so expensive?
Cruises are expensive.
No, because basically my I think my auntie's turning. I'm not sure if it's 50th or 60th. Probably 50th. Knowing her, yeah, probably 50th. I was supposed to go in October, but they've what was it? There's a Nigerian wedding, so I'm going to Nigeria.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm there for a month.
Oh wow! So I'm probably going to see you there, innit?
What
and apparently we might be going Ghana afterwards, isn't it?
Oh, I'll be in Nigeria until the.
Shh. I'll be in. I think it's. Shh. So I might be in. Yeah. So I'll definitely be in Nigeria while you're in Nigeria, innit?
Yeah. Well, we should definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be lovely to see you in Africa. But yeah. My auntie's doing a cruise, and I think it was like 1,500 or per person.
But what is the cruise?
I don't know. I think it might be a Caribbean one, innit?
Carnival.
I doubt it.
Carnival cruises.
I knew I wasn't going, so I didn't pay any money, paying attention to it.
So Carnival cruises are, that's where I worked. Those are the affordable cruises.
Okay.
And those ones.
Why are they so affordable?
I don't know. You know, the average American doesn't have a passport.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. It's so big. So I guess they probably feel like they don't need it. But when you go on a Carnival cruise, you don't need a passport. So you can basically...
Because of the Americas. And you don't really, okay.
Well, it's the Caribbean, right? There's a lot of islands, like Key West in Florida. And then all of the ports are within America. Mm-hmm. But essentially, yeah, you don't need a passport. So those cruises... And Americans tend to take one holiday a year because they get like 10 days annual leave.
Oh, my, crazy.
So they'll go on something like Carnival Cruises and it's affordable. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're looking at other ones like Celebrity, Princess, any of the Sunborns, which is more of a yacht, grands on grands on grands.
Yeah, what's grands on grands though? What's the
like
minimum
10,000 minimum.
Because my mum's been on bear cruises.
Your mum's got money.
Yeah, but I don't think she's spending 10 bags on a.
No, this one is a more elevated cruise. I think it's the ports.
But you're saying that to say that you want to do a wedding as a wedding replacement.
I would forego a wedding and I would do like a honeymoon. That's just the cruise,
but
like a big fuck off cruise.
Yeah, but even that. So you and your partner. Yeah, 2 people. So that's 20,000.
Yeah,
that's
a wedding.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It depends.
These weddings are expensive, man.
They're expensive, but it depends on what you're doing. I could easily get married and have a low key wedding for 20,000.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how much do you reckon the hall's gonna cost, isn't it?
Who says it has to have a hall?
Or I mean, in terms of, okay. Well, so break down how you think a small wedding, the cost of a tiny wedding.
Right. Okay. I haven't looked at any figures or whatever, but I've been in the process of helping other people. So I've looked at these things in the past. I don't know what it costs now, but a marriage thing, it was under £500. So if you want to go
£500 for what?
To go to a registry, registry
okay, just the registry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's like 500, okay, and then let's say...
No, but you're still going to have to do that if you get married and low-key.
So 500 compared to 20,000, that's not really eating into the budget,
No, what I'm trying to say is, because you're saying, because I think it's a case of, instead of doing a wedding, you're saying...
Yes.
Now...
Do the cruise.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm saying, let's speak about a wedding, not just the registry. Okay. How much you think a small wedding actually costs?
A registry can be a wedding.
Okay. But if you're going to do that anyway, those are not replacements.
Wait. Because let's think about it. 20,000, let's say the budget is 20,000. You're only spending 500 of that on a registry. Or even just forget the 500 on the registry. A dress, you can get a dress for 1,000. It's not going to be a nice one of the big ones.
1,000, yeah, but 1,000.
You could go to Wed to Be. You can get dresses from 500 to 1,000, right? That's part of the wedding cost. So something that you might not have. If you go registry, you could just wear a pantsuit if you wanted to, right? If you wanted to go and do private hire, how much do you pay for private hire for an event?
Whatever it is, it'll be times 3 to make it a wedding venue.
No, because if you have 10 guests, let's say you went to a restaurant. No, a restaurant, and you booked the private dining room, even in the most fanciest.
£1,000, isn't it?
I think it will be more because let's say it's 10 people. Yeah. Let's say it's like 2,000. We still haven't even scratched the surface of that 20k budget. And what are the other essential costs of having a wedding aside from dress, suit, marriage certificate? Reception
DJs,
venue. Why would you have a DJ for 10 people?
No, I'm saying, so this is a 10 people wedding.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm saying
no DJ.
Instead of spending 20,000 and you're saying, how can I even have a wedding with 20,000? I'm showing you how I can have a wedding with 20,000.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you can have a very, very low key
micro wedding.
Micro wedding.
Right.
But and that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying hearing that someone's reasonable enough to do something like that is music to my ears, but most people are not.
Yes. I think that...
And it's funny as well, not to be red pilly as well. It's funny when it comes to, traditional traditions and girls wanting guys to be traditional,
right.
Everything goes, as in like, up until the point when it comes to get married, that your father is supposed to pay for the wedding. So everything is calm, traditional, up until that point. And then now some people, he pays for all of it, and I'm saying, I'm going to chip in.
Right. Well, yes. The thing about tradition, what do they say? Tradition is peer pressure from the dead. So what people are doing...
Bars.
Someone said it online. I can't quote that person. I'm so sorry.
I think I've seen it as well. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
What people are doing is they're taking the meat and they're discarding the bones. And I don't think that there's a problem with that, but you need to recognize what you're doing because this even feeds into how we approach we are approaching modern dating as well. We know that the patriarchy exists. You know that there are some benefits for you, and I know that there can be some benefits for me. I think for you to be like, oh, I'm progressive, but then you don't acknowledge the ways in which that you can or want to still benefit from that system, that's problematic. But if you can hold up your hands and say, yeah, I'm progressive, but I really enjoy this element, so, you know, I think
it'd be nice back and forth. Like, say, in this patriarchal system, what do you reckon your benefits are?
I don't have to pay on dates.
Okay. And any other benefit?
Not really. But I do you know what? I had a conversation with someone the other day, and I realized that I'm just the furthest thing from a traditional woman. Like, the furthest thing.
What do you think? Well, describe a traditional woman.
You will not catch me barefoot and pregnant.
Is that a traditional woman thing to do?
Like, a trad wife, if we're gonna look at that trend. I'm not a Nara Smith.
Wait, that's one of the things.
I'm not cooking.
Well, you're not cooking.
And if I am in the kitchen, it's definitely not from scratch.
Why do I think you can cook?
I don't cook, I prepare, and there's a difference.
Okay.
When you're cooking, you're taking your raw ingredients, and maybe you're making a stew or some real serious food. When was the last time you saw me make a stew?
I don't know. But why did I think you can cook? Have you got a cooking past?
No, because you would see me try different recipes, like Malika's recipes, for example.
That's why,
She'll put very simple ingredients together. Like her pasta salad, that shit bangs. It's literally just like cooked pasta and tuna. Would you call that cooking?
No, but anything she does is great.
Anything she does is great. But what I'm saying is that I don't cook like that. I don't.
So you're just a garnishy person. You make things look nice.
Yeah, I'll make a nice platter. Cheese board.
But 1 second, are you cooking out of not cooking out of stubbornness then?
I don't enjoy it.
Do you know what you need to do? Because when I cook, because cooking is long.
Right.
It's definitely long. But what you need to do is just make it a vibe. So what I do is I put nice music on, drink some rosé. Why don't you want to just...
Who washes your dishes?
I do, because I learned from Vicky, you have to wash as you go along, isn't it? Basically, my vibe is when the meal is complete, the dishes are washed already.
I have a dishwasher and I still hate that shit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dishwashers are not any easier than washing the plates.
I know, because do you know what it is? You have to pre-wash, and there's certain things you can't put in the dishwasher, so you have to wash them by hand, like my pans and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is that, okay, you're saying, oh, what things would you benefit from in the patriarchy? There's not much I can say.
What do you think what do you think men benefit from in the patriarchy?
You get paid more at work.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying 9 times out of 10, I'm talking about real life.
Yeah.
If you talk about real life, I don't know what the facade they're talking about on the internet.
It's
Girls
facts.
are doing better than men. 100%.
Maybe it feels that way.
No, this is facts. This is 100%
so
facts.
the gender pay gap doesn't exist?
Well, if it exists, it might exist in like, say, the whole entirety of the UK.
Yeah, but how do you think a stat is created?
Yeah, but I'm trying to say is that takes into account what billionaires and millionaires and things that can skew things. I'm talking about if you go inside of, for instance, there's many things I can see, like like say in like consultants. Take my company, for instance, isn't it? Yeah. Now, what you will get is you'll get uneven representation at the senior levels. Senior levels. So, for instance, if there is a partner that is probably not even going to be a black person, I'm talking about the black community because that's what I care about, innit?
Yeah.
But if you're talking about if there's a partner and there's a black partner, the likelihood, depending on the organization, it's probably going to be a male partner, innit?
Right.
Now, when you go down the levels, the more senior it is, it's going to be male, and then it reaches a level where it's like a level playing field that it's 100% completely dominated by women. And I'm saying in terms of those positions, and I don't know why that is. It could be like certain times a woman might want to start a family, so she's like, fuck that, I'm not going to go for that. Why am I going stressing myself out for that next level? But I'm saying in the level that I am at and the level that I'm seeing, I'm not saying that doesn't exist. If someone's got stats on it, then they're probably correct. Yeah. But I'm saying, just because I'm saying in my reality and what I see, women are clearly doing better than men. The men that are doing good, they're doing good from side hustles. So, for instance, if a guy's got bread, trust me, it's not just from work. It's because he's bought houses and have to flip it. He's investing.
So what are you're saying that women, career-wise, are doing better than men from your observation?
From my lens, isn't it? Yeah.
fair. But what are we talking about? We're talking about the gender.
Let me try and have inside voice.
Yeah. We're talking about the gender pay gap specifically. So even if you can see women on that level, what I'm saying is that the men on that level are paid more than the women on that level, even if you're looking at a complete like middle management, whatever.
But I'm saying now, in regards to that, because I had like a post about this quite recently. Now, in regards to that is, like, I haven't got visibility. So if that's what they're saying, the stats are saying, that's what the stats are saying.
Yeah.
But basically, there's what I feel as though institutions have tricked people into doing is tricked people into negotiating their wages. So people, instead of getting paid what they deserve, are getting paid what they can negotiate. Now, I heard there is a trait in people called, what's it called? Agreeableness, isn't it? Now, apparently agreeableness is a female trait. Now, myself, I possess that agreeableness trait, which is I'm not really fussed. If someone gives me a number, I'm not gonna argue 9 times out of 10, all the jobs I've had, I've never even debated my salary. They're like, oh yeah, sorry, we're giving your compensation is this amount. Okay,
and you're just happy with it.
I'm not happy with it, but I'm just not complaining about it.
But what would you do if you was in a meeting or you was with your colleagues and you're doing exact same job? Probably you're doing that job better than your colleague. And you find out they're on 20k more than you, you're going to still be agreeable about it?
No, absolutely not. You'll kick up a fuss. But then it goes to the point of how badly do you then need that job? So unless you're willing to leave, then you're not even going to have that conversation.
Listen, I'm a leaver. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not agreeable then. Yeah, so you're not agreeable.
Do you know what it is? I just figured out from a very young age that I didn't come to suffer. And for that reason, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to put myself in what I feel is a more comfortable position. So I agree in salary transparency, right? I started out doing massage. And my very first salary job, because I was hourly for a long time, was 15k a year with commission on top for the treatments that you did. 15k.
I used to like that white robe thingy.
my tunic. Well, but 15k a year, right?
That's ridiculous. Very
ridiculous. On cruise ships, at the time, they would pay you a minimum of $800. I think it's $800 a month, tax-free. But $800 a month, like even at sea, that is some bullshit. And then it's up to you to make up the rest of it. Bearing in mind, they're also deducting your room and your board daily. So I think the room and board daily came to $40 or $80. Can't remember.
What, daily?
Daily.
So that's over, what was it? Over 400. What?
Yeah, it was bad.
Wait, 40 a day? Yeah. That can't be correct.
It can't be.
It can't be correct.
Okay, well.
Yeah, because that's nearly over 800.
No. You got that. You got 800 as the standard. And then anything you made over that, they were making deductions. I could be wrong on the figure, but they were making daily deductions, right?
Okay.
Room and board, and they would say, "Oh no," they would say we deduct. Let's say the number was 40. We deduct 40 off of additional sales you make on treatments, and 40 off of additional sales you make on retail sales, and the minimum treatment is going to be $100. So if you're doing 4 clients a day, one of them is like. Well, half of one is like free, basically.
Okay, yeah.
So it could possibly be 40 a day.
Okay, wow.
So you're always going to get the 800, but you're now capped based on what extra you've done.
Okay, I thought you meant they charge you 40 a day just for sleeping inside of the.
I mean, yeah. If you don't make anything that day, they're not going to deduct it. But then after I came away from working in like treatments and stuff, my next salary job was 20k. How old was I? Early 20s.
Shh.
Well, you can't put that in there.
Okay. Oh, shh. Yeah.
But basically, I was there for 3.5 years. I started on 20 and I left there on 30. I don't know if that's good. I don't feel like that's very good.
I think that. Well, how long were you there for?
3.5 years.
50% the wage increase.
Yeah, but I went from a customer service advisor to a manager. To an office manager.
Did you speak to anybody else and see what they were getting?
I didn't know to have those conversations back then. Then I went to my first tech job and I didn't even think to negotiate up. I was on 30 again. Within that company, again, 2.5 years, I left on 33.5. In 2.5 years, nothing. Then
And did you ever try and negotiate, or was it a case of bonus and well
Well,
done for your work? Here's a 2% increase, essentially.
Again, I didn't have that kind of knowledge. Like I didn't know how to have those conversations. Now, from that point, it was COVID. The next job I took was 35. I'm like, 5, that's a decent jump. Next job after that, I took 45, 10K in 1 year. Next job after that, I took 58 in 6 months. So if you stay in the same company, the increments that you're increasing are tiny. Yeah. Unless you know how to negotiate and all of that stuff, which I didn't know how to do. But I was able to jump from company to company less than 5 years and get such a massive increase from 35 to 58 in a couple of years. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, because you have to leave because, like you said, it's not justifiable in-house to be like, oh, why all of a sudden is she on this amount?
And if I was to argue those same amounts within one company, they will say I'm not agreeable. Whereas I'm able to jump from company to company and nobody even questions that. So I think there are ways around that, but there are definitely obstacles in place that I think women probably face more than men when it comes to elevating their careers. And that's the part of patriarchy that I feel you benefit from. Because if you got a girl knocked up, let's even say you took a month's paternity, you would come back, no issues. Whereas a woman, let's say she took a month's paternity. Let's say she took 3, because it's very unrealistic. Exactly. She's literally, in most cases, held the child and birthed the child, and that does crazy things to your body. Someone told me that their toenail fell off. They got pregnant.
My fingernail was off.
I don't know what happened to you, but stuff happens to your body like that. It just takes so long to get back to normal, right? So there's that she's got to contend with. Let's say she comes back up. She's on maternity leave. I think maternity leave depends on the company, what they're going to give you, but you're not getting your full salary like for the entire time you're away. It's decreasing like month for month. And at a certain point, you're literally getting £400 a month from the government for your maternity. So there's that. There's the gap that you've taken from work. So now you're behind. You've got to catch up.
And also the experience gap as well, because you haven't been working during those years as well.
Right.
So you miss out on those months of experience that you could have been.
And this is all just from having a baby. Whereas you could also have a baby and you wouldn't experience those kinds of difficulties. And then it's like, if a woman wants to, I guess, circumnavigate that, she has to basically pretend she's not a woman. And she has to just slip back in there. That's not fair on us.
But I say, what would you say in Rhoda's world? What would you suggest to make it fair? Because in theory, but men will win at this as well. In theory, one can make up a rule. Automatic when a girl gets pregnant, off of work, paid, full pay for 1 year. But also the man has to be off work as well for 1 year, full pay as well.
But then do you know what? The world is so fucked up, because if you created rules like that, what I imagine happening is that there'll now be discrimination against anyone who wants children.
Yeah.
So then they become this unprotected minority. So I don't have the answers. But
no one's got, as in like, obviously it's one of those ones. Unfortunate, because bear in mind, because obviously when I was asking in regards to this patriarchal system, one of the benefits I feel as though I could list the benefits I know that for a fact I've got for being a man. One of them, I'm sorry, isn't it, is one, periods and stuff like that.
You don't have to deal with it.
That stuff over there still
messes with me. But that's not patriarchy, though.
No, it's not patriarchy, but unfortunately, it's a fact of life that we have to contend with, which is the fact that I remember, I forgot who broke it down to me. A girl broke down the actual cycle that during a month, maybe a week of it, you're feeling okay, innit? And I was like, that's fucked. To the point where I even prayed that night. God, thank you for making me a guy.
Oh my God.
But, however, in terms of, so let me think of some other benefits of
being a man. Or specifically patriarchy, because that's a system.
But you have to understand, but in this patriarchy, isn't it? I am a black man as well, isn't it? So, in terms of, there has to be some...
Do you know what?
There has to be some pushback because of that.
No, there's a reason why people like to say that black men are the weakest link. And you know what intersectionality is, right?
What's that?
It's where, if you think about all the protected minorities, women, young or old, not fully able, all of those things, right? You can be from 1, 2, and then having those two to get those specific two together means that you're experiencing different treatment from different parts of society based on what those things are. So I'm a woman, yes, but I'm also a Black woman. So I think there has to be a big understanding of that. And as much as you're saying, oh, I'm a man, but I'm still Black, yeah, but then you have to think about in which space are you referring to and what is trumping what. Because you could be in a space where you being a man is trumping the fact that you're a Black man. And it's funny because that's a really easy concept for me to understand. But Black men and white women particularly get trolled because they don't show a full understanding all the time of that. Yes, you're a Black man, but you're still a man. And with that, you get some benefits.
Yeah, 100%.
And just like a white woman, yes, you're a woman, but you're a white woman. So there are still certain scenarios where you're still better off, but you have to
100%.
understand it.
Obviously, I know there's certain benefits of being a man, but I feel like certain times there are things like, in terms of people being, as in, for instance, I know certain times, Black women, they get the, basically, she's was aggressive trope. Being a Black man, there's actual people feeling threatened, isn't it? So if you speak to most Black men, especially most Black men from like a particular background, as in terms of, I feel as though code switching, we have the kings of it. As in, you can't even speak in your normal voice inside of the office. In terms of, for instance, and I know individuals like myself that are actually good boys, to the point where you walk inside of Sainsbury's with open body language and stuff like that.
You're
so obviously I know in terms of, but so there's a benefit. Like you're 100% opposite. I'm agreeing with the lowest of the lowest on them are black women. So,
it goes even further because then you could say Black, you could say woman, you could say disabled. Can you imagine like what a Black hijabi disabled woman experiences? All of those intersections, like these are all things that society have made difficult to exist as, and you're all of them. So I don't even like considering it as like a totem pole because I don't think that takes into consideration the intersectionality. But
what do you think it actually magnifies it?
The more places that you belong to, the more things that you are experiencing because there are prejudices against each of these individually. So now you come here and you're pulling from all of these things and you that is your whole being. Anywhere you go, you could be facing one or all of the discriminations for what you are. So, okay, when you consider it like a totem pole, the more you have, then the lower down the pole you're going to be. But I think that, I don't know, it's very, very difficult to explain. And me too, I'm still learning. That's a caveat for anyone who wants to drag me online.
oh, forget these online,
honestly,
online trolls.
I know. But it's very, very difficult to wrap your head around. But we're digressing because what were we talking about in the beginning? I wanted to get into it. Patriarchy. What do I benefit from?
Yeah.
So this is something, and it could be why I'm still single. But I think that when you have a child, in most cases, it's a partnership. It's a partnership deal with two primary parents, right? And so I think when choosing my partner, I'm going to choose someone who is able to hold it down whilst I can't. And that is a benefit of patriarchy because it means that I'm aware that his life is going to change somewhat because I'm straight. His life is going to change somewhat because we're about to be parents, but I know that his effects are not going to be as great as mine. So I want to benefit from the fact that he's going to be able to slip back into normal life as soon as possible. And then I can take a bit longer. I'm not in this survival mode of trying to keep my head above water whilst navigating this new experience, which is why...
If you're together.
That's why I ain't having no children out of wedlock, personally.
You like to think people will step up, but it's one of those ones.
You never truly know. Fair, but I would like to, it's just like taking a calculated risk. You're going to look at all the fors and all the againsts. So I'm going to try and make a very calculated risk when it comes to that. I don't believe in accidents. Well, put it this way. I'm not sleeping with anyone who is going to put me in a, I made an accident situation.
It's possible, boy. You never know, boy.
You never
because
know.
I'm very intentional about that as well. My actual thought process is I will not sleep with anybody. And bear in mind, I'm very, very intentional about this. So this is why I'm even careful with my words.
Right.
That I would be so pissed if they had my child. So I could be pissed if they had my child.
Do you believe in killing babies?
I don't. Basically, I will never tell a girl to do it. So that's my vibe. So I'm never gonna. I don't want that on my conscience in it. So my vibe is if she does it, maybe I might do the willy bounce when the baby is gone in it. But I will never actually.
So you would let her go through an abortion, then you will fuck off.
I will not fuck off, but I'm saying I'll give her the emotional support that she needs, isn't it?
Yeah.
But my vibe is in those situations, if I bear in mind, if I 100% don't want this child, I'm talking about 100%, like in terms of I feel as though my life is ruined by having this
why
baby.
the hell would you sleep with someone if
because
they
she might be beautiful and gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Two things don't align. You could be absolutely your fucking supermodel and sexy, but the worst person in the world for somebody to have your child.
What makes someone the worst person in the world?
Their values. You realize this person is going to be a monster. She's going to ruin your life. She's going to.
I wouldn't want to even like smell someone like that. I wouldn't have.
No, but I'm saying they could just be gorgeous. As in, you could just be gorgeous. You could be used for sex, isn't it? Like, for instance, dildos, isn't it? Girls don't use dildos and rely on the dildo to be, oh my God, you're gonna look after me and take care of me. You know what I'm saying?
How is that even a comparison?
I'm saying it's a means to achieve a sexual goal. Is essentially what I'm saying.
Fair. I find that interesting. I do find that interesting. But back to the point. That's one way I would like. So, okay. I've said I'm not a trad wife. Meaning that, what is a trad wife? Probably someone like a Nara Smith.
Who the fuck's that?
Or the girl she's always baking 5 a.m. making stuff from scratch. Be like, my husband was craving chewing gum, so I made it from scratch. That you don't know?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Ballerina Farms. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
who the hell are these people? And they just TikTok people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a movement online for women going back to that traditional role. Because obviously, once upon a time, women didn't go out to work and all of that stuff. And I know I'm not that woman because even if I'm at home, I'm not fucking cleaning or cooking. I'd rather have a staff.
But wait, you see, you're not that woman. Are you not that woman because you feel as though you can't run the risk of even attempting to be that? Because to be that sort of woman requires a man that's literally going to do everything. Like, and if you haven't got him...
Financially.
Well, 100% financially, because what the hell are you doing?
I just think it's not interesting to me. Like, I couldn't imagine a life where all I do is wake up and look after the house. Like, that's 3 jobs in itself, right? To look after the home. That for me, it wouldn't be that interesting. That's not that difficult. That's what you think.
No, I'm talking about looking after a house. I'm not talking about children. Just looking after a house and cooking. That's not that hard. I've cleaned a flat before.
You're clean and a proper person's clean is not going to be the same clean. Do you even know how to do proper laundry? Do you know what the symbols mean?
Symbols? No.
No, what do you mean? I know
the numbers mean that's the temperature that you put on.
Not the bloody numbers.
Yeah, but I'm saying the signs. No, but for instance, the clothes I've got, there's certain ones will just get dry cleaned regardless, and the other ones, I put them in, they get washed, isn't it? So
you just pick any site you don't know.
No. I look at it.
Delicates, whites, cotton.
Cold wash, cotton and stuff like that. Like I group them properly. The whites, I put them all together.
Do you use fabric conditioner?
Sometimes when it's about.
Do you have a tumble dryer?
No. Funny enough, in terms of the eras, isn't it? I used to think they were for poor people.
Tumble dryer?
No, eras.
Clothes.
Yeah, those.
So how were you drying your clothes?
Well, I had a dryer before, innit?
But not everything you can put in that dryer.
Yeah, then I leave just shit on the radiator and stuff like that.
Oh, Jesus. Listen, how do you clean towels?
Put them inside washing machine with softener.
Okay, that's debatable. How do you dry them?
I put them on the radiator or air. What are you supposed to do to them?
Tumble dry for best results.
Okay, what if you haven't got one? And who needs them to be soft?
So you just you use your
my towel
to
just dry me. Yeah,
crispy, exfoliating.
Does it take up the moisture?
Well, that's the thing. If you're using too much softener, you are reducing the absorbency of your towels.
Okay.
But you said it's easy.
Yeah, but I'm saying the towel comes out white, and when I'm ready to actually dry myself, it's there, isn't it? You know what? Because men's lives are not that. We're pretty basic in our needs, isn't it?
Right. So when you said, "Oh, it's easy to look after a house," it's easy for you.
Okay, fair enough.
But if you had to look after my house now,
you want the inside of your TV clean.
Literally, I think I would have some complaints because I don't do crispy towels.
Mm-hmm.
I like my soft, fluffy. You know, those are the things I do care about, which one could say is quite traditional. But when it comes
so if
to
you're
cooking,
being traditional, then you're doing, and if you're being traditional, and then the person that you're with doesn't really care about it, who are you actually doing this for? Yourself?
Myself.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't do crispy towels. If I had a partner who didn't care, I would still do all of that with my towels because it's for me.
And plus, they're not crispy. They're not fucking.
Show me your towels right now. I'll tell you.
Sandpaper or anything, innit?
I think they are.
Not sandpaper.
If you're air drying it in this country.
Yeah, but to be fair, I felt ones where they felt a bit like
a bit crispy.
Yeah, but not.
Well, there you go.
Not too bad.
But what else is a traditional wife? Okay. Cooking is a big one because that's something I just don't do. Like even now, my cleaner does my cooking.
Right.
And I don't cook. I will make a salad or something like that or a noodle, but I don't cook.
Well, I'm saying, I feel like there's, you know how people say going to gyms like therapeutic and stuff, isn't it?
And they say that about cooking.
And I feel as though, there's a part. But I was like, in terms of why do you not do it? Because you just don't like it?
I don't enjoy it.
You don't enjoy it? Okay. So it's not out of laziness, isn't it?
If I wouldn't like go hungry. I would have nice.
Yeah, but it's hard to go
meals.
hungry when there's so many apps about anyway.
Okay. If I was only given like a pot and my ingredients, I would know what to do. I have a general knowledge of how ingredients work, but I'm not cooking for the 5,000. I'm not hosting dinner parties, and I'm definitely not cooking. Because can you imagine if you had a wife and you paid all the bills and you just asked of her to just cook and clean and whatever, and you came back after a long day of work and the food that she put in front of you was like bullshit? Would you not be angry about that?
Yeah, I feel some sort of way. As in, if it's bullshit, then it's just so unattractive. If it's bullshit.
Why is that unattractive?
Basically you're coming home from work,
yeah,
and basically forget not even my wife, anybody that you care about is putting a meal in front of you that is bullshit is just ridiculous, isn't it? I'll rather it not, and that's the reason why I learned how to cook. The reason I learned how to cook is to put anyone that I move to just pattern up without actually telling them. I don't mind cooking, innit? So my vibe is if I cook, you're in your spirit, you're not gonna feel same way if I had a wife that was just like, oh no, don't worry, man, or the rent this month, innit? Yeah, I got it, boom, I got it. As a man, I'm gonna be over there like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this?
So that I think those are the ways in which we're like conditioned to be more traditional. But what do you think is traditional?
What do I think is traditional? Well, based on the ideas of traditional, the traditional wife, I don't think in this day and age, unless you're stupid up, can even exist, isn't it? Which is the stay-at-home mom that just take care of the children,
the house.
And plus in terms of and certain aspects of it, I don't want it to be in regards to my finances, make sure everything is paid there, and I'm saying.
Right. Got it.
And sorts out the whole house, isn't it? I feel like that's a bit too inner and intrusive. And also, I've got trust issues. I don't know if I can trust an individual.
That she wouldn't steal the money.
Yeah, steal the money or just be buying shit for themselves. And also, I know I'm a bit... I'm human. I'm saying there's a bit of bitterness in me that I'll be like, oh, my days, if she just did something, didn't tell me about it, all of a sudden she's got... Like, she might have expensive taste. She wants to get this bag over there. Yeah. These times I can equate that to how much hours I worked or what I did to get that money. It's like, what the fuck? I did all of that, so you can buy that.
Yeah. Do you know what I find really funny? Yeah. And feel free to interject if I'm going off on a tangent. We're talking about traditional, like what is a traditional wife, right? And I was saying to someone the other day that a truth exists not because it is true, but because everyone's believing in it. So that concept of traditional is because everyone has believed in it. But how can you have this is what the wife does, this is what the husband does in every single household worldwide. It's impossible because all of our situations are different. And I think that the problem is, especially with online and speaking about the guests that you previously had on, people are looking at things that are public knowledge and creating their standards based on that when their variables are completely different. So the girl saying that, you know, there's more of an expectation of African men to pay for this and pay for that and blah, blah, blah. I literally live in Africa. There are so many different types of men within Africa. It's not an expectation. But if someone goes online and they see that and then they think, oh my God, I'm getting less than in this life because this is what other women are getting. Now they've set their standard at that. And then they've gone into wherever they are. Maybe they're in a village where guys don't even get cabs or whatever, and they're like, well, he should be paying for my keke or whatever to go here, he should be doing that, and that's just not how it's done there. And now she's perpetually disappointed because she's based her standard off of what she thinks is tradition from someone else's lived experience, and now she's not going to get the best out of her life because she's looking at someone else for, you know, what it is. Traditional wife shouldn't exist. You should decide within your household how you want things to go, whether it's he's going to pay all the bills and I'm going to contribute in this way, or he's going to pay all the bills. We're going to have a set budget for staff. We're going to have a cook. We're going to have a nanny.
You're standing on staff, bro.
I'm sat. Listen, because I've seen it.
It's because you live in Ghana, isn't it?
Bro, my cleaner.
How much is house help?
My cleaner.
Sorry, do you own a slave? Do you own a slave? How much are you paying her?
Listen, and I didn't set the price. Bear in mind, I didn't set the price.
In slavery, there was a prominent agency that gave the slaves wages.
Because I said, how much do you want? And what are you doing for that price, right? So it's a negotiation. I never set the price.
Okay, well, how much is...
Listen.
Okay.
She comes once a week.
Okay.
When she comes, there's 2 of them that come.
2 slaves, okay. 2 house up, my bad, sorry. Yeah.
When she comes, the main one will stay in the kitchen, she'll cook. And then when she's done cooking, she'll clean that area. The other one, I've got a 3-bedroom, but I only make them clean 1 room.
The one that you live
that
in,
I stay in. So that's the main bedroom, the ensuite bathroom, and the balcony. Then she'll come downstairs, she'll clean the guest bathroom, the main living area. And they come once a week. I pay for the ingredients. So any meat, tin tomatoes, whatever, I pay for that. I pay them 500 cedis a month.
How much is that?
It's £25 a month.
Oh my God.
But that is the price that they have asked for. And you know, the reason why they do this, so that originally they were doing this for my friend twice a week, and she was paying 800 a month. So we said, can we split it out? You come to mine 1 day of the week, you go to her another day of the week, or the same day, whatever you want, and we'll up it to 1,000 for the travel in between. And they were like, absolutely, it's fine. They've gone to my friend's house, they've done a deep clean of her 3-bedroom. They charge about 400 and something cedis. So what, that's going to be just under £20. Someone else has asked because they want someone to cook. So and she cooks good stuff as well. She made me seafood okra. She made me light soup with chicken. She made me stew with lamb.
How many hours of the day are they spending in your house?
It's quicker now because the first time they came, they did a
But now there's 2 of them. Okay. Or there have always been 2 of them?
Always been 2. So they did a deep clean and that took a while. But now they come 8 a.m. They're out by 11.
8 a.m.
And they're out by 11.
About 3 hours. Yeah. 3 hours, and you essentially pay them roughly about, say, around £4. Say £4.
I'm not doing the maths. But what I'm saying is that in certain parts of the world, it's very, like, the labor is much lower. Even if, and some of these a lot of these cases, houses that you build, they come with like a boys' quarters. So you can house them as well. They eat what you're eating. So you're giving them a place to stay, food to eat, and they're doing that work for you. And you're paying, in some really good cases, maybe you're paying between 1,000 and 2,000 cedis a month for them. That's a good deal.
For who?
For everybody.
But okay. Maybe. The sort of lifestyle that they want to live. But how long does she have to work, you reckon, in order to be in your position?
Well, that's different because I earn a completely different currency. So what I earn in June is not what I earn in August because of the currency fluctuation. If she wanted to earn as much as I earn, it would have to be a different set of circumstances. Like she'll have to have more global mobility to be earning in that foreign currency because you're not going to just go and get a job in Ghana and be paid in pounds, dollars or whatever. So education, I would argue that education is not actually king. I would argue that emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence and soft skills. Because a lot of the time, people don't care about what school you went to and what you studied, but they care about what it's like to work with you. And how are you in social situations? Like, can they go for a drink after work with you and stuff like that? Because in my case, remember, I started out doing massage. So I don't have any formal education, but I've got to a certain level.
You got GCSEs?
Yeah, but that's standard for where I
Yeah,
live.
okay, but still, yeah.
You think they don't have GCSEs?
No, what I'm trying to say is in terms of, but that's like in the UK, as in like you come from way more prestigious, in their eyes anyway, like a prestigious background.
Is it? It's not.
I think so, no?
Because people get shocked when they realize I don't have a degree. But do you think that a person who doesn't have a degree in a place like Ghana would get the opportunities I've had in work if they didn't have that degree? It's like the levels are different for them. And
that's because you've already got the... Because what trumps the degree is also experience as well. So, and proof that I've already done the job, isn't it? So it's like, oh, she's already done it. She's done it for us. So this company's trusted her, that company's trusted her. So we can trust her as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but like those opportunities are just not falling out from the sky.
But if you're someone that had to pick, wouldn't you rather pick? Would you pick based on education?
Or if I had to pick a worker?
Yeah.
No. Because
but that's what work you want them to do, isn't it? It's not essentially...
Well, yeah, well, the thing is, you see what I do, yeah? It's not what I would call a specialized skill set. So it's not a skill set where I had to go to school and learn how to do this. Although there are courses out there that exist. But what I've realized is emotional intelligence, how you speak to people, how you're perceived, how adaptable you can be. Also preempting issues, like, and then building the trust and the rapport. All of those things are important. And those things are not necessarily taught in a school or sometimes even in a workplace. Like, it's just a life skill. For those who can tap into that, those are the kinds of people that I want to work with. Like, really savvy, quick, like Nigerians. Nigerians are so... People might think that they're a bit forward and they're a bit much, but there's a reason why every single place in the world you will find a Nigerian, because the culture makes it that they have to be very forward and very like, do you know what I mean? Whereas other cultures, they're more laid back, and it's a do the barest of minimum and hope for the best kind of thing. Other cultures, I won't say what. But I've seen a series of videos about people complaining, and I'm just like, you're complaining about something that's embedded in the culture. It's not an individual problem. It's a cultural difference. Not even problem. It's a cultural difference. And you see it. Like, one of the reasons that I moved to Ghana was because it was a slower pace of life. But with that slower pace of life comes a slower pace of everything. Like, if you need something done quick,
5 hours, ordering food inside of the restaurants.
Or you go to the restaurants, and sometimes you have to start. You have to be like, what don't you have today?
Wow.
Because you know that you're going to be like, oh, I want this. Or you look at the menu like, okay, let me pick 2 or 3 things, because you know they're not going to have something.
Wow, really?
And it's so normalized. It's so... Sometimes there was... I think there was a video, where someone asked for a straw. Something basic like that. Not something to be cooked. And they look over at their waiter. Why the fuck is he dancing? He's just in the restaurant dancing instead of getting my straw. Like, little things like that. But it's a cultural thing. When it rains, nobody goes to work. Can you imagine? Can you imagine in the UK?
It's a bigger deal, though. Come on, man. That's a big deal. When it snows here certain times, bad snow, people
Not always. Because what you're talking about there is difficulties in getting to work. There's no difficulties, because why am I here and you're not? I don't drive. We're getting there the same way, but they'll look and they'll see the rain and they'll say, oh, it's raining. And it's just the culture. It's just expected. If you call someone to come and fix something in your house and you wake up and it's raining, you're like, they're probably not coming today because it's raining.
Has that happened to you a few times?
Many times. I went to a yoga class and they were like, the teacher was like, it's raining, so people probably won't come. And I'm just like, but you don't even have, it's not like you're running here. And it's not torrential rain either. It's fucking drizzle. But people just look at the rain and they're just like, okay, it's a indoor day kind of thing. And that's just the culture. I feel them, though, because
even the events sometimes it rains.
Do you know what? Do you know what it is? And I'm trying to be careful with my words, because I don't think it's a problem.
You don't have to be.
I don't think
because, remember, it doesn't have to come out. So there's always that.
No. But this is something that I'm trying to train myself for as well. Just because something is different from you, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. But you need to understand that when you put X and Z together, you're going to get this result. When you put X and X together, you're going to get that result. So I'm saying that how you're doing is different. and it's going to give you a different set of results. Take Ghanaians and Nigerians. Ghanaians, laid back. What results are you going to get? Less opportunities, maybe.
Peace as well.
Peace, exactly. So someone might say, I don't want the opportunity. I just want peace. Then fine, you do it that way. But then also understand that if you're looking at a global company and you want that opportunity, and it's you with your laid back nature and someone else who has a go-getter nature, it's more likely they're going to be given that opportunity. So what do you want to do to see a different result? Do you want to change or do you want to stick with what you know? It's not to say that any one way is correct, because we're not supposed to be doing the same thing. But you need to understand what you're doing and the results that you're seeing. And I think it's the same. Going back to the guest you had, when she's saying so-and-so must pay for her Uber and she spent 75p.
To be fair, she didn't say I had to pay for the Uber. She didn't say I had to.
By the way, can I just say 75p? Like, I've been racking my brain thinking, what does she get? I don't know what year she went, because that would affect it. But 75p, okay, currently it's £1 to 20 cities.
£1
to 20 cities.
Oh wow, okay.
This is currently.
Oh, so that's 20 cities. What? So what would be?
What can I get with 20 cities today? You know them street sellers. You could probably get some snacks from them.
Okay. So
unless you was buying snacks in traffic, in the store, you can't even get a chocolate bar.
But I took
a bottle of water.
I took it as the money I spent versus the money that I was given. That's what I kind of took it as.
So she did a deduction.
That's why my brain went, because 75p is such a small amount that it doesn't make no sense.
Right.
Krem said chewing gum, perhaps.
Nah, it's expensive,
Is it chewing gum expensive?
Actually, tell a lie, because I could get a pack of Tic Tacs for about 5 cities. Like a mini one. Mini one.
Wow, that seems cheap.
Yeah, like $5.49. It's cheap. Wow. Certain things are cheap and certain things are not, but that's a whole nother story. But what I'm saying is that her being able to go to that country, spend 75p and have a fantastic time is her X and X equaling this. Now, let's say someone else went to the country and maybe they were different or they had different connections. It's going to give you a different result. It's not to say that her way is the right way or the second person's way is the right way, but it's different and you just have to recognize that.
Expectations, they're all personal, really and truly. So it's one of those ones. And that's my vibe, because you remember when we had that conversation as well, which is the reason why I don't even really like this, all of that red pill content, is why are you trying to change people? Like, if somebody wants to live that way and you don't like it, that's fine. Don't like it. Just don't be with the person then, innit? Like, I
think it depends to what extreme, because
I'm not trying to save these hoes, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to save somebody. I've got a particular thing that I like, and I only need to be with one person. So I don't need the whole world to be the way I want them to be. So just leave it as that.
You don't need the whole world to be the way you want. I 100% agree. But where I think people should speak up is where it gets dangerous. So let's say, for example, racism has existed for however long, and racism it's an idea, right? So challenging someone on their racism is important, because them having that racism and that bias affects someone's livelihood at the end of the day. You don't have to convince someone that this is the way things are done. But if you see someone who has the potential to reduce someone's quality of life, you have to challenge it. Like a Andrew Tate, you have to challenge the shit that he's saying. Like a Kevin Samuels, R.I.P.
What did he say that was so bad, though?
I think it was his delivery.
Yeah, I'm saying,
because he's saying the same things that other people are saying.
Yeah, so in terms of what his one is 100% delivery, as like he's just not being nice about things that he's saying.
Yeah, but it's also it goes back to what I was saying about truth. So he's saying that, how can you be this age and blah 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 and expect to get this? And it's like, okay, that's what you believe, and yes, granted, a lot of people believe that, but it doesn't make it the truth. It's your truth, and he's circulating his truth until one day enough people believe in it, it's going to be fact. And then those people that are in the groups that he says are undesirable now have their quality of life affected. So you have to challenge it, because it's...
Yeah, I can understand that. But in terms of... Because I think his one was more like the probability of it. Look at the people that you are asking. Because, for instance, what a lot of the things that he was doing was... Like, a lot of times girls would be saying things like, oh, my man needs to earn, like, say, 6 figures.
Yeah.
And then basically what he's doing is narrowing it down to them. Okay, cool. Now, in this world of guys, Cool. That's actually only 1% of the population. Cool. So out of that 1%, you also want them to be 6 foot. Okay, cool. So that's going to reduce it to 0.000. And what he's actually telling them, bear in mind, I don't watch all of his shit, but what he's telling them is, what you're actually saying, it might not actually be realistic. So you might need to, I'm saying, be a bit more open about your options here, isn't it? But obviously, I haven't watched all of his content, so he might have said more like crazy shit to people. But I heard him say rude shit like, listen, bitch, you're blah, blah, blah. Maybe not bitch, you know, but listen, you're this and you're that. I'm saying, how dare you expect this and that?
That's the problem.
But in life, somebody might just end up liking you. As in, you know what I'm saying?
There is always the opportunity to be the exception and not the rule. Always. But if you base your entire existence off of that, like you said, it's probabilities, right? It's unlikely that it's going to happen. And now you're disappointed because you think that, you know, it should have gone this way and it hasn't gone that way. I think that what people need to do is stop looking at the surface of the thing. The surface of the thing is a guy who's 6 foot. I know it's coming from me. That's crazy, right? Because I like tall guys. But that's the surface of the thing. Why do you want a guy who's 6 foot? Because he makes me feel protected. So really what you want is a protector, not a guy who's 6 foot or a guy who has 6 foot energy. If you now start looking at the guys who have 6 foot energy, it's probably going to be a higher percentage than the guys who are 6 foot. And then you're going to get exactly what you want. But unfortunately, we're all looking at the surface thing like, I want flowers and I don't want to ask for the flowers, but really what you want to feel is appreciated. And do you know what I mean?
Oh my, certain times as a guy, certain times it's so hard to even like get, and you know what I feel like a lot of women fuck up by, this is going to sound crazy, but a lot of women fuck up by speaking. Yeah. And I'm saying in terms of, the worst thing you can do, now speak, it's your actual beliefs.
Right.
What the worst thing you can do is spew things that you do not actively believe yourself. Because an individual like me, I'm one of the most like open individuals in the world. As in terms of, to be friends with, I'm friends with everybody. Right. So I don't care what your actual, but unless it's just outright devilish, isn't it? Then I'll keep my distance. But other than that, everyone's free to believe. But I'm somebody that listens to what people say, and it's not like I'm not judging them for it, but I just know who you are because you've told me who you are.
Sounds like a judgment.
No, it's not a judgment, but I'm just saying, for instance, if
you're categorizing them.
I'm not categorizing, but I'm listening to what you've told me.
Right.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, can I be with somebody that actually believes that in my head, isn't it? And then it just gets stored there, isn't it? But what I would say to that is, but if it's somebody's beliefs, then that's calm. It just means me and the person are not aligned. But what people are doing is, I feel like they're saying things that they don't even actually believe themselves, and now they're kind of blocking like blessings. And another thing I think a lot of girls do wrong is, you know what they say, basically, what do girls bring to the table? Or what was it? I feel as though, and you know the saying, the woman's the prize. I feel as though a lot of girls are not behaving like the prize whatsoever, 30 plus. They're not behaving like it. As a guy right now, I'm telling you.
Wait. How does one behave like the prize?
Behaving like the prize is, for instance, meeting a guy and automatically you making the guy feel as though, basically that you want to be with him forever and ever. Like he's got the option to have you forever and ever if he just patterns up.
Okay.
Like,
you don't think that's true?
I think I feel as though, excuse me, as much as you're a stranger, I am a stranger as well. Can we know each other first, please? As in, what's wrong with actually, people are like, they frown upon it. Like I was in a relationship in my 20s. I was with somebody for 3 years. I got the idea of that wrong, isn't it? So you could be on trajectories where you meet somebody and it might not work out at the end.
Absolutely.
And so in terms of certain times, like it might be nice. I'm not saying 3 years, but certain times from your past experiences, you know that you cannot figure somebody out in even 3 years.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is at least get to know somebody.
Wait. I have to push back.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because I saw this video the other day and he was basically saying that why is it so frowned upon that people fall so quickly for people? And he was like, literally, I'm letting you know in this moment that from what I've seen, I like. There's no problem with gaining more information and changing your mind. There's no problem with adapting as it goes further along. And
that's if you believe in divorce, though.
No, I'm not talking about it.
No,
like,
but what I'm trying to say is it's because people are so open to divorce that they don't mind. if you were in a mindset of I don't want a divorce, then I guess you'll take actually marrying somebody more seriously.
You can still take it seriously because listen, I was listening to an audiobook and he literally said that within the first 7 months, you know if this is a person that you're supposed to be with. And you know why? It's not because you've seen everything that you need to see of that person. What you have seen is the characteristics that they are willing to work. So when the changes come, and that's inevitable, you know that you've got a partner who's willing to work and try and adapt with you. And at the end of the day, I don't think there's a problem with meeting someone, seeing the traits and the characteristics you like and communicating that. I'd rather think that men have an issue with not doing that. So you could be in a situation with a girl and you're thinking, oh yeah, she's nice. Meanwhile, she thinks you hate her because you don't communicate that with her. And so how do you expect anything to grow? Because part of being in a partnership is a level of vulnerability. So if she feels like she's not getting that from you, while you're growing stronger, she's growing more distant, and she starts at 100 and you start at 0, and you can't even meet at 50 because she's lost interest.
That's exactly what's going on, though.
Well,
she's literally, in terms of when she meets you, you are the world.
Right.
When he meets you, I don't know this girl. I don't know who she is.
What you see and you like, so what's the problem?
So, but I'm saying in terms of we're not supposed to be surface level. Oh, because she's an attractive girl and she's funny. And then that should be the basis of me spending the rest of my life with someone.
No. Or it is, okay, I've
but
met
I feel like
you.
that's spot on, though. And
yeah.
Girls meet you, you lose points.
Yeah.
Guys meet you, you gain points, isn't it?
But
and there's nothing wrong. Some guys on the vibe, like I've been there. There's certain girls I've seen, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah. I'm actually all in.
Yeah.
And so I've had those vibes.
Yeah.
So two people, I'm not against two people falling for each other, but that's when two people are evenly yoked and they both fall for each other, isn't it?
You know what? And this goes back into what I was saying about soulmates. Literally, when you meet someone, you can have that instant connection. Absolutely. Whether it's attraction, whether it's your values aligning or whatever it is. And the rest of it, for it to become a fruitful and healthy relationship, is hard work. So all you need to do is meet someone who you have the connection and attraction with and the willingness to put in the hard work. This means you can meet
hard
people.
Work, though.
Everything
is hard. Work hard.
Everything is hard work. Even your friendships are hard work.
Oh, not really.
Everything is, because those people are not you. And if you want to exist in their orbit, you have to have some kind of entry point. An entry point could be small like this. So it means you have to work hard to figure out where it is and be like, okay, this is where we slot in.
I feel like we've done a great job. As in like, well, do you know? Well, do you think I could be doing better? You reckon?
Listen, we have history because when I came back from cruise ships, I think that I probably experienced something that was like a mild depression or a low mood, right? And at the time, I didn't have a lot of safe spaces. A lot of my existing friendships had kind of dwindled, and I didn't have people around that I felt safe around. But you was nice to me, so naturally I gravitate towards you. I don't know if you thought I fancied you or whatever. It was never that.
I know you didn't fancy me.
Well, you were mean.
Explain why I
remember
mean.
like
I remember as well. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Are you talking about New Year's Eve?
No, what happened on New Year's Eve?
We used to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And it wasn't a thing where I didn't want to hang out in a group. Because let's say we arranged to meet up.
Yeah.
Then you would probably call up maybe like Ampema, Vicky, whatever. You call up Daya and we'll all end up going out as a group. So I got used to that routine. Like if I want to like, decompress from work or whatever, we're going to hang out. And then there was one day where I just felt like you was avoiding me like the plague. So I was like, well, I know where you are. I'm just going to go there and I'll meet you there.
Well, when?
And this was New Year's Eve, that house party somewhere in Camberwell or something like that. And when I went there, I felt like I was walking in and everyone knew something that I didn't know. And the reception was so icy. The only person that actually stayed with me and chatted with me was Kwame. Everyone else was so mean. And I was like, bruh, I don't know.
House party in Camberwell?
On New Year's Eve.
On New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
House party in Camberwell on New Year's Eve?
I don't know if it was Camberwell. It was around South somewhere.
Because I remember going to one house party on New Year's, and I think it must have been Belly's house party. And you know how New Year's is? It
wouldn't have been North.
And 1 second, because in terms of, no, it would have been South London.
Okay.
But I'm saying in terms of, but the way New Year's works, everyone's doing like 6 things on that very, very day.
No, I knew where you was going to be because we had spoken prior. So when I just rocked up, I didn't feel very welcome. So then I just took it as, okay.
Well, so what did I do? Did I say something?
Like I said, when I walked in, the reception was icy. So then I took it as, okay, this person doesn't really want to be my friend like that. So I took several steps back. To the point where you was like, why are we beefing? And I'm like, we're not beefing. I'm just living my life, innit?
No, you know what's crazy? I don't know. You know what I thought you were talking about? I thought you were talking about basically when we linked arms in Camden.
I don't remember.
Yeah, basically I was in Camden and then we tried to link arms and then I moved my hand. And then this is you, oh my God, you move your hand.
No, because I think that was after the hiatus. No, that was around the time.
Yeah, because I remember we went to Camden thing together.
Yeah.
That NSG story I was speaking about, basically I was with you. That You know, we watched NSG perform in front of nobody.
Who that was?
It was NSG that was performing in front of nobody. And then this is me, because I remember we went to some Afrobeat show. But that, you see, that one over there is 100% totally in your complete head. In your complete
Which
head.
is fine.
To the point where, in terms of, if you was to ask people, especially during that period over there, who are Dammy's, I'm very, when I talk about female friends, isn't it? I'm very, very, very blunt about it. That period over there, asked me who my female friends is, I could only name 3 of them, and your name was included in it. It was Shoshana, Rhoda, and Sandra. That's it.
I was going to say Sandra. Yeah.
Everybody else, they're not my female. I'm very, very, very cool with them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
this
saying,
is what I'm saying.
That never happened. You can imagine that.
Wait, I'm proving my point though. Because like I'm sitting here and I'm relaying the events, not based on hard facts, but how I felt at the time. You're relaying the events to the best of your ability. It takes a conversation for us both to understand. And you're shouting.
Come on, man, you know I'm shouting, yeah?
But it's hard work. It doesn't just happen. We can't just be on the same page.
Fucking hell, you're right, then, isn't it?
This is what relationships are. This is what family ties are. This is what your friendships are like. You have to have these uncomfortable conversations. You have to shout a bit to understand people and live in harmony with them.
But I'm saying in terms of, obviously, I guess it would have been an uncomfortable conversation. But I'm saying, had you had said, Dammy, when you did that thing over there, I didn't actually win. I would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
can you even confirm I saw you?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what did I do?
Do you know what it was? Like at the time.
Did I hug you?
No, I don't think so. I think I walked into a kitchen or whatever. Sass was there as well.
By the way, yeah, and bear in mind, in this environment as well, it's also not my house as well. To the point where I don't even know whose house that is.
Oh,
to the house party. So it's not as though like it was my house party.
No.
As much as somebody might want me to roll out the red carpet, I wouldn't even be able to do it in that environment.
It was literally just a feeling at the time. So you're thinking about, this is someone who is already very fragile, has very limited...
Also, I didn't even know you were fragile.
Why would you though?
That's what I'm saying. So I understand now from hindsight. You only told me. I remember you told me about this basically our friendship being key to you
at that time.
Yeah, you didn't tell me at the time though, innit? But
no.
That's what I'm saying.
It was, like you said, it was happening in my head. And that's what happens in the world as well. So it is hard work to just be
on inside your house. Me,
yes, I remember. And they were good times. They were necessary times. But if there are some people, right, who would have experienced what I experienced in my head, and they would have held a grudge to this day.
With me?
Yes.
But the funny thing is, I know for a fact, I feel like those are one of my key things as well, isn't it?
You don't hold grudges.
Not that I don't hold grudges, but in terms of when I'm being honest, and for instance, if I am not actually feeling the way you suspect me to feel, it will definitely come across as that I'm being genuine about it. I'll be like, yo, what you're actually feeling over there, I understand why you felt that, but it's absolutely totally in your head. I'll be like, yo, listen, why would I do that? And I've done X, Y, and Z. It's not as though it was one-way communication. I would follow you. Oh, Rhoda, what are you doing? To the point where even there's a car over there that looked like your old car. Like, quite recently, So I even remember those little things. So when you're being genuine, I believe you'll be able to come across.
Yes. It takes, like I said, it takes vulnerability. Because most people, they would rather have a wall up and not come across as, okay, in my example, if I was to tell you how I was feeling there, I would have felt like a wet paper bag. And if I'm not willing to do that, the conversation never gets had. And then the vulnerability doesn't exist. The connection severs. It's very simple, I think.
It's funny because I've got different events as to what transpired.
Okay, you tell me your.
My one was all of a sudden, basically, I started bringing other people around, and then you and started having a connection
We
of
never had
some
no
sort,
connection.
and then basically you man are all going off to do book club or whatever in it, and
We
then
did a book club.
I don't know, you attempted one. You attempted a book club.
So you felt like we ditched you?
No, yeah, I felt as though I was being ditched, isn't it? But I was like, okay, it's calm. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But there has never been a period from there where I didn't value you whatsoever, isn't it?
Mm.
As in, like, I've always considered you somebody I can talk to, and somebody that I would back for, that I would say, like, genuinely is a beautiful soul and a beautiful person. I would leave my children around you, innit? If I had children, I'd be like, yeah, cool, I can leave them around Rhoda, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel the same way. And that's why I'm here. And it's why, okay, we don't speak all the time, but there's still a kind of friendship there, right? Because the history of whatever it was strong enough to withstand any distance or any misunderstanding.
You should have said something. That's hilarious. This is the first time you never ever told me this.
I said this on the
No.
Okay,
You have never ever said this to me before, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, back to why I think in regards to soul ties. Explain why you. What's your beef with soul ties?
Not soul ties, soulmates.
Soulmate, sorry, my bad.
Exactly what I'm
What's
talking about.
What's a soul tie again? Is that when you fuck somebody and then...
Yeah.
Oh, you believe in that though?
No.
Okay, cool.
I don't believe in that either. I think there's a lot to be said about the church's approach to teachings around intimacy.
Is soulmate is a church thing?
No, soul tie.
No, but is soulmate a church thing though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I don't think, because soul tie is literally in the Bible, but the context is in the Bible is not how a lot of people are teaching it in the church. And it's sad because I feel like in certain extreme situations, women specifically are not being prepared for these marriages that they're pushing them into from so young. And I actually listened to Oloni's audiobook and I thought it was fantastic because it was a culmination of a lot of ideas that I had taken in over the years, but it helped me to really form my sex goals, my sexual goals, or how I wanted my sexual experiences to be shaped. And a lot of that is like removing the shame and the stigma from sex. And something like a soul tie is all shame, all stigma. Like,
but what's wrong with shame though?
What's wrong with shame?
What's wrong with shame?
So I think there's a book or an author, Brene Brown, I think, and she delves into, I think it's her, someone who does TED Talks. They delve into shame and how it shapes society. And it opposes something which I can't remember, but essentially shame holds a lot of people back. Yeah. So shame is not a good thing. Yeah, no, but sometimes shame is good. You're saying that in a sense, people who are shameless, as in they are morally not correct. If you're willing to, for instance, if you remove shame, it means you can do anything. Yeah, but why is there shame associated with sexual pleasure? No, but what I'm saying, for instance, if you just tackle the shame element of it first and foremost. Shame is not a one thing. Shame could be attached to anything to make you feel bad about it. Yeah, and I'm saying, for instance, in terms of, like, say, performing, like, you know, basically performing on stage, isn't it? Yeah. Now, there's benefits of performing on stage, but there's also places where it'll be nice for you to actually have some shame about you, isn't it? Shame is not completely negative. Right. And for instance, if you're somebody that wants to be sexually liberated, and you in your heart know that this is for you, and you can tackle, because whether you can't make up the society that you live in, like it's here. Yeah. So if you want to tackle that and do your thing, be completely shameless with it. But if you're somebody that, for instance, if someone says to you, oh my day, calls you a hoe, and then you're going to commit suicide over it, then maybe it'll be in your best interest, isn't it, to have some shame. But one could argue, why not change society? Because it's impossible. Okay. That's why you shouldn't do it. Fair. It's easier to change yourself than to change everybody else, isn't it? I hear it. So I think a good thing to do is maybe, for instance, if you've got a burning desire to fuck everybody in the world, then just do it behind the scenes, isn't it? No one needs to know your business. Or you could become an ethical sex worker. Ethical sex worker? Is that a thing? Yeah, anything can be ethical. Ethical sex worker. Yeah. What's the difference between that and a normal one? So you're sexing for the good of humanity. You're doing it. You're fucking virgins only. No. Guys that want to get into this. I actually have a theory about sex work. So remind me of that. But when I say ethical, I'm talking about, okay, a lot of like the porn things that you see online, they're unethical. Learned that from Oloni. So she talks about if you do like porn, engaging in ethical porn. So you know that the person has consented to making that movie. They're not in a vulnerable position. It's something that they want to do for themselves. They're paid fairly. It's distributed in the most responsible way.
Fairly?
Yeah.
Wait, so you can watch an actual, like, say, production porn, but you have to look into the wages of the members of staff.
Yes, it's just like not the wages of the members of staff.
Well, would you have you not paid fairly?
It's just like so some people are not going to shop in Shein because it's public knowledge that they have sweatshops. So why would you go there? But if for example, I think somewhere they said that the levels of toxicity in Primark clothing is actually much better than other high street brands. If you're like, I'm only going to shop in Primark for now, that's ethical. It's not that you're doing all the research and trying to see, okay, so where was this porn shot and blah, blah, blah. No. But back to my point about sex work. I don't think sex work is a bad thing.
Okay, well, define sex work. Prostitution.
It could be,
Legal
it could be prostitution. Or you could call it escorting. So there's a film on Netflix called
Slippery Slope, man.
There's a film on Netflix called Something Mr. Leo Grand. And what happens is there is a widow.
If I can keep talking, I'm gonna make sure this is
Sure. There is a widow. She's about 60 something. She's retired. She loses her husband. And then she hires a sex worker because she hasn't had sex in a long time. And he goes in there, he's doing his thing, he's biting his lip or whatever, like trying to get her in the mood. And
his lip?
Whatever.
Okay.
You know, he's giving her bedroom eyes, right? And so she's really nervous. So he's trying his best. He's trying everything in his power to make her feel comfortable, whatever. And it kind of transpires that it's a form of therapy because she has never had sex with anyone else. She had sex as an obligation. She never had it as a pleasure. And she wanted to explore this side after her husband's passing in the safest, most ethical way. So I think that, you know, if we had a system where people didn't have shame and were like, okay, I want to experience sex because I'm feeling like, I don't know, however them incels are feeling, and they want to do it in a way that is going to serve them and not put anyone else in danger. It actually works out in like some kind of therapy. Like so many people, they're like, oh, if they're angry, they're like, oh, that person hasn't had sex or whatever. I agree. So why not just pay for the sex? Pay for the sex. Know that the person that you're going with has been fully tested. The person's been fully tested, right? They're not going to catch feelings. They're not going to chat your business. Maybe they're even mental health trained to make sure that you're in a mental... You're laughing, but I think this is a sick idea.
Yeah, no, the thing is, it will 100%, million% work.
If more people are having good sex, right?
But society, not even society, I feel like society can easily go down that path, the way the world is working. But I feel as though I think the concept of it is quite, personally, I think it's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's laughable to you, but
I'm saying, what would you do if you found out, for instance, would you like the male counterpart that receives the other end of it?
What do you mean?
Like, for instance, you're the person that you're meeting now.
Yeah.
It's a case of, basically he hasn't had sex in a long while, but he's got his card to Rhoda's sex work healthcare.
I'm not a sex worker.
No, but I'm saying it's your company, isn't it? Let's just say
right, okay.
red sex, yeah.
Get out.
And then basically it's a case of he just taps his card inside there, fulfills his sexual desires, and goes to work every morning. Yeah. You don't mind this in the individual that you would want?
No, I think I'm quite open-minded. Like, if a guy, I would much rather to be with a partner who knew that they needed a sexual desire fulfilled, and they didn't go and find someone who's vulnerable or mess with someone's emotions and pretend that it was, you know, something more than what it was, just so that they could get their willy wet. I much prefer a guy who used the card and used the sexual health services or the sexual desire services, because it's just more
clean
responsible.
Sex,
right?
Nobody's
You're
feelings.
all tested. You're all tested. There's no fallout.
But
no
you know
one's going to be
is?
coming in my DMs as a woman.
But you know why this is? Because what I found out is girls, they don't rate guys at all in terms of, which is why in regards to, you hear girls say all the time, he's allowed to cheat as long as he's doing X, Y, and Z. As in, I feel as though their faith in men is completely shattered and down in the dumps.
But you know why that probably is?
Why?
I mean, I can't speak for them, but I think that like we've been saying, they've set a standard for themselves with the wrong variables, and then the reality has turned out a completely different way. Now they've got a new set of results, and they think that something is broken somewhere. Whereas maybe I don't want to say that actually because it sounds like victim blaming. I'm not, but maybe there were certain avenues that they should have gone down to see the results they wanted to see. And rather than go down those avenues, they followed the advice of someone online, maybe a sprinkle online.
Is that a new
Shira? She does. Her thing is hypergamy.
Okay.
Particularly, and I think people get confused because I don't think anywhere she talks about love, but people are literally basing their romantic partnerships off of her rules around hypergamy, which is literally just dating for financial advancement. So if you're mixing the two, she's not talking about love, but you're using her advice to try and get someone to love you, then they don't love you, then you're saying that something is broken. Yeah,
facts. If you've got basically a deep, because I see girls with that, the city girls have done that to a lot of people as well. The city girls have certain girls are just not built to even be city girls, isn't it? It's fun, it looks amazing. Even the city girls are not built to be city girls. If you look at their own lives, it's fun, it looks amazing. But if you know that you are a sucker for love and deep down you've got a burning desire to love, then chill and back to shame. And that's why certain times, like for instance, it's important to have shame. Shame is good certain times, isn't it?
I hear exactly what you're saying, but I think we should take the word. Okay, no, yeah, you can use shame, but then we need to remove shame from certain things that are just normal and natural, like sex, like wanting sex, because depending on.
But I'm saying, would you do a shit? Like doing a shit is natural. There's a tree over there with a toilet. Would you do a shit in front of everybody?
No.
Yeah, but it's completely natural.
But that's we're talking now about morals because that's indecency.
Why is that indecent? No, say there was a shit. I'm saying no, your bum isn't on the disposal. It's only got your top half, but you're inside there. People can walk past and see you doing it.
Yeah, but this is something that should be done in private, so that's clearly not private. And then they can smell your shit as well.
Okay, cool. So that's say if this was a no smell shit. Would you?
No, I've got a funny story.
Oh, you shit in front of everybody?
No.
Okay.
I'll show you after, but we went on a girls' trip to the lake in Ghana.
Okay.
So it was about a 3-hour drive, and obviously we burst into
Who are the girls, by the way?
I don't think you know them.
I know some of your friends. I know.
In Ghana?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Karina was there.
Yeah, I see.
She never used it. She never. So we was like, oh, we need to go to the toilet. And they're like, yeah, there's a community toilet around there. I was like, what? And it was literally like a brick wall with a toilet in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
But I had to use it.
Well, Lord, did you do a wee or poo?
A wee. Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean? It could have been either one of them.
Have you ever tried to squat to do a number 2?
Don't you have to squat to use the toilet? Oh, actual squat. No.
Yeah, no.
That's just disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, but I used it though because I needed to, but I was looking at the people, make sure they couldn't see me. But
a brick wall. I would rather just do it somewhere, just not on this thing, but everyone's bum cheeks have been on.
I've got to show you now. But what was you saying? Yeah, shame. There's different things, and I just think that when we use these blanket terms, that's when things get skewed, and then we now have everything under one umbrella. Because what you're talking about is decency. So yeah, you should have decency, but it's not necessarily shame.
But and also the thing about sex, which is important, is the fact that like say for instance, it's like smoking weed, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a case of now what somebody does, and people.
Let me show you.
Oh, let me see it.
The toilet that I used.
Oh, this ain't bad though.
Well, I used
because it's a toilet, but it's an outside toilet. But this is what I'm talking about. Say if these were just on the streets, would you use it?
That's a lack of decency.
Yeah, but it's a shame at the end of the day. Everyone knows that people are supposed to shit. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess you could put it that way, but I don't know, man. I just feel like people need to just use their brains a little bit more.
But also, I feel like a lot of times with like I feel as though we're all playing a game. In my belief, anyway, I feel like God just dumped us on this earth, isn't it, and told us to work it out, and then we're just gonna have to work it out. But as I feel as though you're not with the decisions that you make in life, you're not gonna be 100% right. All you can do is make some guided choices that could be predictors of what you may face in the future. If
Yeah.
you decided to stick to it, then like you said, work hard and stick with your choice and work hard at it.
Literally.
So in terms of with the sex aspect of that, and with like all aspects where shame can like fall in front of, as in now you, for instance, if somebody decides to be completely sexually liberated, now it's not a case of you don't have to shame them into not doing it, but you can make some guided choices based on what the person has done. So for instance, if you're somebody that's just fucking around willy and nilly, and for instance, you're a guy that's been cheated on per se, you can be like, you know what? This girl clearly loves sex so much that the likelihood is maybe if I'm not about for a bit and she hasn't got it, she might venture off. So maybe I might not be with this person, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, you can also ask that question directly.
You can't ask a human being shit. You can't, because I'm a human being. I can lie. I can 100% lie, and they can lie as well. So it's better to just make your own observations.
People can lie, but listen, everything exists in an extreme version and a not so extreme version, and it's your job as a human to try and balance it out.
Discernment.
So so if you say to someone, okay, this is how I'm feeling, how are you gonna approach a situation if I'm away for a long time and you feel like you don't have blah blah blah? How are you gonna? They can lie. Yes.
I would lie every single time.
Does that mean that you're gonna get to a point where you never ask that question because you just feel like it's gonna be a lie? And how much of life do you think you're gonna get to experience if you shut yourself off to that kind of?
I feel what you're saying, but based on that, then girls have shamed guys into not asking about body count full stop. So how would you?
But do you think that body count is going to be a real indicator of the answer?
No,
to that
I'm
question?
not. No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying, because they're likely to lie. So that's the reason why it makes no point for anybody to even ask anyway.
Because we're talking about two different things here. Because
no, but I'm saying in terms of, but it's the same thing
about
though, isn't it?
The likelihood of somebody cheating. What does that have to do with how many people they have slept with?
With me personally, if you also ask me personally, if you ask the guy how many people he has fucked, and his number is in the 2000, in the ridiculous number region, then it's one of those ones. I feel as though, I know girls are never going to want to hear this as well, but I feel as though you can have some doubts as to whether or not this guy can be with one person.
I mean, I think we're asking the wrong question.
Also, like you said, if somebody's sexually liberated, they've had an orgasm from this person and that person, to then to be inside a relationship, maybe the likelihood that you're going to be this person's sexual fit, the likelihood that you're going to perform better than anybody that she's ever been with to keep her there is what?
You're asking the wrong questions. I
wouldn't ask those questions though.
Okay. I feel like we are focusing on your angle is very pessimistic. Because,
yeah, that's very much my trait. You're pessimistic as well. Don't try as well. Mrs. I don't believe in soulmates.
I'm realist. And the reason I don't believe in soulmates is because soulmates limits people's opportunity to find love.
It doesn't have to, though. It doesn't have to.
If you believe in being able to meet someone, still have a deep connection multiple times over, then that's the page that I'm on. But I'm saying that people feel like there's one person in this whole world that is for me. How do you know that person's even going to live in your city?
But that's the beauty of soulmates, though.
What happens if that person dies?
Well, what I'm trying to say is with soulmates is that your soulmate is your soulmate if you end up with the person. That's my vibe of it.
So then that means but by that definition, you could have multiple soulmates because they're only your soulmate once you meet them, and then they become something that is tethered to you.
My idea is the person that I marry, hopefully, is the person that is my soulmate. Because if you've got the notion, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's good to have the belief in the idea. If you've got a belief in the idea of it, it almost becomes a fairy tale. So it's like, you know what? The person I married, this is the person that God wanted me to be with. And then what happens is you end up having beautiful things like children. And then it's like both of your DNAs together. And you're like, wow, this child would not have existed if I didn't have this person.
So romantic.
Yeah, I'm saying, but that's a beautiful thing to have. And if I lose that, then fuck the world, man.
No. I believe in that, but just not one time.
But what? No, but I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure if you want more than one of those.
Okay.
Like you can have many deep connections with many different people over a lifetime.
Okay, but what you're thinking is that I would have a deep connection and I'll be like, no, let me keep going. No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I meet someone, I have a deep connection. We work it. It's a beautiful relationship. God forbid that person passes away. I'm not now going to sit the rest of my days out as a widow because I can never have that connection again. I would then be more willing to meet someone. Or let's say...
Then God gave you two then. That's fine. You can have two soulmates. Why not?
Let's say it's an unrequited love situation. So the person's there, I feel they're my soulmate, but they're not doing what I would expect a soulmate to do.
Yeah, then that's not your soulmate, mate. That's not your soulmate.
Well...
If soulmates are supposed to be reciprocal in my vibe.
So what
Two people don't want each other.
What happens if that situation happens, yeah? Soulmate is reciprocal, you have a great time together, and then for whatever reason it ends, whatever tragic reason it ends, does that mean you're never going to have that again? No,
then what you can do is, maybe that wasn't my soulmate. Keep reinventing it until you die. Yeah. What? As in, like you don't not benefit from having that mindset.
I think we're saying the same things, right? It's a choice at the end of the day.
But believe. I want you to just believe.
I do believe. Yeah. I believe that I can meet someone and have a very deep connection, but I don't think that is the be all and end all. If I meet someone and I have that very, very deep connection, I know that what comes next is hard work. I think good relationships are a culmination of opportunity and, let's say, resilience, because you have to keep going as that person is changing. I hate that part of
it. I know it's necessary though.
It's necessary,
and the thing working hard, so hard for it.
But it's necessary with everything. But you know what? Men are very surface level. So your friendships could probably be deeper than they are now, but because you don't want to work hard, like let's say someone slights you in your friendship group, you're not gonna like cut them off. Like it's not enough to cut them off. But you wouldn't have a conversation about the fact that, hey, when you did that, it made me feel XYZ. You would just keep... What I'm saying is that men don't like to do that. Whereas...
Yeah, but I feel like in certain times, obviously, like you said, it's a choice. So you can have that with certain friendships. But I feel like with a lot of the male friendships I have, it's not even necessary to do all of that. I don't want to go around the time when, was it, you didn't get me an Arsenal ticket and you got Isaac one and I wanted to cry. No, I'm not going to do none of that. Huh? Nobody did that. That's what Man United.
What I'm saying is that men's, and this, I think this is backed up by facts. Men's connections are very shallow. And at the end...
I've got deep connections.
Girl. Men's connections are shallow. And what happens is, as women get older in life, their connections are naturally deeper. They're better at cultivating their community. They are, in most cases, living long and fulfilling lives when they have a decent community.
Based on what?
Men.
Most girls I know, sometimes you meet a girl, she's met all of her friends are from 2 years ago.
Listen, men.
Look at my batch. You know guys I went secondary school with.
But men, why are the men in the nursing homes dying alone and no one's coming to see them? Because they haven't cultivated that deepness that is required.
Oh, no, because we're all supposed to be heads of our household and take care of our tribe, isn't it?
So where's the tribe?
No, I was in... usually their daughters look after them, no?
Why are men in nursing homes dying alone with no community? If they've got daughters, if they've got tribes, if they've got all these long-standing friendships.
Because in terms of maybe society tells them that their role is to just provide, 9 times out of 10, not even be inside of the places they're providing for. So they don't act, like you said, maybe they don't make those meaning relationships once they venture off into the workplace.
But they don't. But making those meaningful connections and maintaining those relationships is the hard work.
Yeah, that's definitely hard, isn't it? As in, I'm reaching that hard part now. As in before, it was calm. But obviously, when guys get families and stuff, isn't it? Then you're not really as active. But the sort of relationships that I've got, as in, I've got this... I am not a needy friend, isn't it? I'm one of those friends that I don't take it personally if somebody needs to take...
You need to be needy because you've got needs. It's 6:00.
Okay.
Because I want to touch on this, right?
Sweet, yeah.
You know what you just said? That, it's hard because they have families and blah, blah, blah. Most people that you meet will tell you, whether it's the bride or the groom, once they get married or engaged or whatever, they start to see certain friends drop off. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about why that is and why the family dynamic changes so much so that certain people can't even have friends who don't have families. And single people like us, we can then lose people within our communities. And I think changes happen on both sides. And the changes that happen require hard work to change, to adapt to the new normal. Just because your friend got married and has children doesn't mean that you should see them any less, but you need to see them differently.
Well,
and I
yeah,
think to a degree,
it should. You should
to a
see
degree,
them
you
less,
understand that, because why are you doing an event that is child friendly?
Oh, because I want to do one, innit?
But
no, but
if
that's
you
just
didn't
to
have
change
children,
my lifestyle.
Right. If you didn't have those people in your life, you probably wouldn't have a call to do that. Yeah. And that's the hard work that people have to do to make sure that their community still exists. I'm not saying that you're not going to have children, but at this moment in time, you've got certain friends who are single and whatever like you, and you've got certain friends who are married and have kids and are doing the whole adulting thing. And you're there somewhere in the middle. So the hard work is marrying those two worlds together, because that's your orbit.
Yeah, facts.
Right.
And I can't bring, obviously out of respect for their unionship, I can't bring that friend around this environment where their wife will hate me and shit. You know
It depends on who the friend is. If the friend is a nonsense, then I hear it. But why do you have nonsense friends?
No, but it's not about being nonsense. There's nonsense environments. You know?
Well, hard work.
I wish I could speak to you all day, man.
I know, but sorry, it's hard work, innit?
But yeah, well, it's gonna be hard work, innit? But I feel like I'm calm. Anyone could have a chat. I don't feel as though any of my friends use me by not speaking to me for long periods of time. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those ones. I understand. Like, for instance, certain times you need to be alone. Can't be alone there. Yeah.
There's a balance, man.
There's a balance, but I don't really care, man. Everyone's living life. I know these guys go through things, isn't it? As long as they haven't done anything to physically piss me off and then stop speaking to me as a result. But certain times people are going through some real issues. They need to be alone. And I'm one of those friends, like, you know what, I'll message you. Listen, I messaged you, didn't say nothing back, man. Love you, man. Shout me when you're ready. And then boom, leave us that.
I hear it. I just think that you can't just be irresponsible because you're going through something. It's not hard to just say, look, I'm going through some shit. I need the break. I need whatever. It's a common courtesy.
Yeah, but not everybody is you, innit? Not everybody has the strength that you've got to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. I saw some Instagram video. It was one guy. It was some nerdy guy, and then some man must have walked across his camera. That one over there. That video was so sweet. He was so monotone. Yeah,
because some people, they do have the ability to look at a situation, extract the emotion from it, and they're speaking straight facts. In that sense, he doesn't have an emotional attachment to what happened. He doesn't have anger. He understands that this guy is doing whatever, and
he doesn't care about your life. He has no idea you even exist.
Exactly. So he was able to do that. And I do think that to a degree, I have that ability, but also I'm a woman. So I do know how to switch on the emotional side of things. It's difficult because sometimes it may come across as me not being as empathetic, but then other times I feel like there's a time for empathy and there's a time for, look, these are facts, and this is what we need to do to move forward. So if there are people in my life who get that and appreciate that, then we can still be close or whatever. But if they're not, then I also understand.
Yeah, but that's how you end up losing friends that you didn't really have to.
But I don't.
You don't lose friends?
Not ones I didn't want to lose.
Oh, okay, cool. You're fucking cutthroat, isn't it?
Am I cutthroat? Like I told you, I don't believe in suffering.
I want to know so much about when's the last time you cried? What's Ghana dating saying? I don't even know any of that shit as well.
Ghana dating's been really tough, man.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really tough. There's so many difficulties. Like, for me, a big one is the economic difficulty. Because like what I was telling you before, the way in which I want to benefit from patriarchy is that I can take a day off. I can take a year off if I decide to have children. And I haven't met anyone who's got my back in that way, unfortunately. I don't even think I earn that much. But no one shows the generosity or the level. How much do you think is a lot?
A lot for what?
To earn. You can't add figures, by the way.
How much do I think is a lot to earn?
Yeah.
My amount of a lot will be higher than most people's amount of a lot in it.
Okay.
As in, for instance, a lot. Okay, like, yeah. You're going to have to throw the number at me, innit?
Okay, so I was speaking to someone, and then they were giving me loads of business ideas, and I was like, bruv, do you know, I'm actually happy to earn anything between 3,000 and 5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, it's so small. And I was just like, and this is African.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, is that small? I would think that earning £5,000 a month living in Ghana is a decent amount to earn. But apparently
that would sound nice. Well, after actually
tax,
getting 5,000 inside of your
in
account,
your bank, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be all right.
But
I'm saying in terms of what's your vibe with it? Is it that's life? That's it.
What else?
I feel like as a girl, that's calm, isn't it?
Well, I haven't met anyone who thinks that and or wants to share that.
What do you mean?
So I haven't met anyone, like I've met people who have earned who probably earn 3 or 4 times that, but they don't necessarily want to be in a relationship where they are like breadwinner, or they don't like me. One of the two.
They don't want to be in a position with a situation where they're breadwinner.
Yeah.
What does that even mean, though? I don't get that. What does that mean?
They're responsible for all the bills and whatever.
Is that what breadwinner means now?
Yes. What did you think?
I thought breadwinner means that you just got more money.
Yeah, like breadwinner.
Yeah. No, that's two separate things.
How is that two
paying
separate?
all of the bills versus having more money?
Yeah, but you're the breadwinner. You're bringing more into that.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you. For instance, one of them can earn 200,000, the other one can earn 150,000. Yeah, you're the breadwinner of that relationship.
Okay, fine, I will accept. But okay, so the rich guys that I meet, they don't seem very serious, like they want to settle down and that they would be able to look after me if I decide to have children.
Why wouldn't they be able to look after you if you have children?
That's not the vibe I'm getting.
As in, like, a willingness to. If they had your child, why wouldn't they?
Well, I haven't met that. If I would have met that, and we would be attracted to each other.
But what's your vibe? Are you saying, are you giving off, listen, once I have your baby, I'm never working again? Is that the vibe you're giving off?
Possibly.
Okay, yeah, cool. Then maybe who the hell would want that?
Yeah, but I haven't even got as far to be talking about babies.
Okay, cool. I'm saying, sometimes women, you could actually become a burden on a man's life.
I hear it.
Yeah, as in like, you honestly, because there's certain, I don't think I've actually been in any of those situationships or relationships where I'm with a girl that I like and it actually feels like she's just an expense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank God. But
it's more of a partnership though, because what I'm talking about is not that, oh, I'm going into a situation and someone is going to completely look after my lifestyle. What I'm saying is that if I put myself in a situation and we go halves on a child, I would expect that in the time when I'm down, they can be up. Equally, if they were ever down, I could be up. It depends on what is needed in that relationship. But unfortunately, I think I'm capable of being up for someone, but I haven't met anyone who is up for me.
If they're already up, as in if they're earning more than you, 4 times more than you financially, what does up look like in that? What does that look like?
Well, I haven't met that.
But what would up even look like? You don't know.
So I've been in situations, like since we last met, there was one guy I dated and we went on maybe 3 dates. And by the 3rd one, he was like, we have to stop going out. We're not on holiday. And I was just like...
And he's richer than you?
Apparently, on paper.
But maybe that's why he's rich. As in,
because he doesn't go on dates.
No, because he's extremely just frugal. You know there's men like that. There are guys that are just completely frugal and they use that and then because they know like I said, they know the value of money, so they just take their money, put it inside some investment.
Those are the guys that I seem to be meeting because I don't believe in not dating. I think that's crazy. How
many days did you go on and how many in what space of time?
It was about a month. So we're going out once a week.
Once a week. And doing what? Was it big lavish things?
No.
I don't even know. You see, and these guys are good though, because at least they're vocal.
Yeah.
My vibe is if I feel someone is just becoming an expense, I'm just not going to hire them no more, really.
Well, the thing is, it's like, okay, you're happy to like stay indoors, right? That's fine. But then my indoors and your indoors are not the same. Like when you come to my place, it's like you're in a hotel. We've got the Disney Plus, we've got the Netflix.
What's their place like?
Oh, it was so ghetto. And I literally said to him, like, I'm not coming back here because...
I'm sorry, you're a nightmare. You're an absolute nightmare. How can you say that?
Is it too much to ask? Like, what
did you say to him? Sorry, finish the sentence.
Okay, so I had the issue with the fact that it's actually not common to have hot water in Ghana because it's a hot country, right? But I like hot showers. And I said to him, I really struggle with not having a hot water heater, so I don't feel comfortable to like sleep here or whatever, but we can hang out. And there was one day where he was at mine and he was walking down the stairs. He's like, I'm really enjoying my stay here. And I wanted to slap the back of his head because of course you're enjoying your fucking stay. From time when my towels are tumble dried and you've got everything you need, like you could just rock up to my house and I would have everything that you need to have an enjoyable stay. And I take the time to do that. Granted, I also like to, who's calling me? I also like to, go out and enjoy outside as well, but my inside is very calm.
Very comfortable.
And he was living like he was in a fucking trap house. Like this guy did not have a stove in his kitchen because he gets all his meals like catered. But that means I can't even fry an egg.
You know, doesn't want to cook anyway. That should have been heaven for you.
Yeah, but an egg, yeah. Like it's a basic thing. Like you don't have a stove.
Did you have a burning desire? Did you actually have a burning desire to make an egg?
I just think it's about comfortability, innit? And he didn't have that level of comfortability to be saying that he doesn't want to go on dates. Because at least if you don't want to go on dates, you make your inside a date. It's about quality time. The time was not quality. It was hell. I could not wait to leave that place.
What did you like about this guy?
The thing is, he ticked so many boxes on paper. He was 6'3". I reckon he was probably on like six figures. I think he was.
Cities.
I think. No.
Oh, sorry.
He was bi-coastal like me. So spending some time in the UK, some in
UK. Okay.
Sorry. Some time in Ghana, some time in the US.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I felt like he had certain things about his life that were aspirational to me. Like he was a property owner. I don't own property. So I was like, oh, I could learn something.
You don't. Yeah.
I could learn something, you know, especially when it comes to buying that.
What, the property with no stove?
Yeah, one of them. That was one of them.
Okay.
And like everything on paper kind of just made sense, but the reality of him as an individual, it just wasn't it. And then on top of that, he was giving off like he was an alpha male, kind of high value, whatever Kevin Samuel says, but it wasn't giving. So he went back to the US. Communication got really poor. I was just like, yeah, let's just lock it. And he was like, okay. And I was like, damn.
Fuck.
Let's just lock it then. And since then, I haven't been on any other dates.
Oh, wow. Did you cry over him?
Do you know what? I cried. I cried about the fact that he made me feel like I wasn't
worth it.
Yeah, he really fucked with my self-esteem.
Because he said, okay, fine then.
No, just many things throughout like our interactions. You know when someone can be like curious about you, and it's a way that makes you feel proud to talk about who you are. He was curious about me in a way where it felt like I was defending my thesis, like in certain conversations. Like I felt like.
Like what? About what?
Like, what did he say? He was really curious about the fact that I used to be a massage therapist. He was low-key basically calling me a sex worker. Like, low-key.
To be fair, no. If you just hear it and you don't know, oh yeah, I'm over here just touching guys' body. Because I don't know how...
Who's guys?
It's one of those ones. I give massages. As in certain times you kind of have to... Sorry, you do what exactly? Like, depending on what region of the world you went to.
No, because I get the initial curiosity, but he was like, he said something like, oh, so do you still do them? And I was like, oh, not really, because I'm in Ghana. I don't need to, like, have any side hustle. And he's like, yeah, because I would hate for one of my co-workers to, like, book you or something. And I was just like, what the fuck is that? Like, it was just weird to me.
Hopefully you're reading too much into it. And it'll be lovely if you did read too much into it, because that way you would not have to think about it. Maybe it was on the vibe, I just don't want you to touch my friends, isn't it?
No, he said he would be embarrassed for people to know that.
Embarrassed, though, right?
Yeah. Like, stuff like that.
But you don't even do it.
He would say all sorts of weird shit. Like, one time he was giving me lectures on women having cesarean sections. And he's not a doctor.
Well, so, what's his beef against cesarean?
I have no idea. I didn't even go into it. I was just like, this is just a weird thing to, like, bring up.
And you see when he's saying it, how do you look? Because I can't imagine. I don't think you're capable of hiding your face.
Well, not all conversations are face to face. There was one conversation we had face to face, yeah, and I was talking about like success, and he must have mentioned. I said, I wouldn't go with a guy who was like in the pits because I'm not in the pits right now. I'm in a period where I want to enjoy my life, and I would like to have a partner who's on that vibe as well, instead of every day we're scrimping and saving because you're scrimping and saving. And he was like, I'm in the pits. And I was just like, he said apparently I shut down completely because I was just like, that's so disgusting.
Wait, so what part of this guy makes you believe that he's got the bread he says he's got? The fact that he told you, is that it?
Yeah. And where he worked.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, where he worked and what he did. and stuff. So like I said,
Laddie says that all the time that girls have no idea what guys make whatsoever.
No idea.
They're terrible gauges.
Yeah.
A car can throw them off.
Yeah.
A car and a watch will throw them off.
Fly in business class, all of these things can throw you off. But do you know what? And I think this is what that situation taught me, that it's not about what's on paper. It's about how you feel. Because at the end of the day, you could be with a guy who maybe he earns like 10K less than you, but he also thinks that going on dates is super important. And it's not Novikov, Hakkasan every time. It's just the quality time. It's getting out of the house. Because think about it this way, yeah? You said how you know how you said, oh, it's so easy to look after a house or whatever. That's your house. So you know how everything runs, right? If you have a guest come over, indirectly, you're doing an extra job because you're looking after that person. So if we're saying...
Get cleaner at that point, innit?
If we're saying, okay, we're both in the house and it's my house because your house ain't got no hot water, so we're not going on dates, but I'm doing all this extra work. That's how I see it. So I don't think that it matters that, oh, he earns X amount or he owns X amount. But if he's like, okay, I really value quality time outside of the house and quality time where you're not still on the clock at work or you're not in work mode, where you can relax, or he values travel specifically for relaxation. So not traveling for work or traveling to see family, whatever. Those kinds of things are more important.
Yeah, traveling to see family can be mixed with relaxation.
It might not be a holiday. It might, because if he's like, oh, I travel to see family, he's going to the same place every time, right? But if you want to travel for relaxation and different experiences,
is this with you or without you?
No, with you. Okay. I'm talking about the alignment. So where I was saying before, like on paper, this guy is ticking all these boxes, the list, right? Those things actually didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I needed to look at what it was I was trying to achieve. Why do you want someone to earn a lot? It's not because they just have the money in the bank. It's so that when you're spending bags on a holiday, they're not giving you a side eye or making you feel bad about it. And they're able to join you as well and not necessarily just pay for you and pay for all your expenses kind of thing. So you need to understand, why is it that I want what I want? And then when you start building that...
What, have you ever seen that before? A side eye from buying bags and shit?
Yeah.
I feel like that's manipulation anyway. Why on earth I wouldn't even go on shopping with a girl if I wasn't willing to buy her shit.
Right.
So
no, because do you know what it is?
No way am I doing that.
It is manipulation. Sometimes a guy's trying to preempt. So if he sees that when this girl goes out, she orders like 2 starters and 2 mains, and I can't really afford that, so I'm gonna fat shame her and be like, why are you eating so much? Like, some people are like that. So they will see what you do, they'll know that it doesn't align, and rather than just accepting it, they'll make snide comments or like little things that will plant a seed of like doubt in you. And that's what happened with the guy. That's why I said, okay, when you said, did I cry or whatever? Because I cried for myself that I didn't recognize what was happening at the time, and that he was sowing seeds of like doubt. What does he mean I'm not on holiday? I fucking live in Ghana. Like every weekend is a holiday for me because I've got to a stage in my life where I can switch off from work at the weekends and I have enough money to enjoy my weekends. And I live in a place that is 5 minutes from the beach. So every weekend is a holiday for me.
Now, to be fair to him, give him the benefit of the doubt. It's just that his lifestyle wasn't the same. So he's looking at yours and he's thinking, fucking hell, man, this girl's living like a fucking queen. And he probably didn't have, or was it, what he told you that he has, isn't it? Probably. And it's like, you know what I'm saying?
He told me that he owned like 4 plots of land. In one of them was a house. He owns a property in the US, and he's on this. He was working for like one of the big companies in the US. So in my mind, I'm just like, yeah, he's decent enough.
How did this conversation even come back? Oh, did you ask him also? Oh, so what do you do?
Yeah, like we're getting to know each other, innit?
Certain times, isn't it? Just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, but you know what? You'll see that people who tie their value to what they do, they answer those questions in a very specific way. Like, you know exactly the title, you know the company, or the kind of reputation that a company has, or whatever. But I try to now ask different questions. Like, I try to say, what are you passionate about? Because you could do a job that pays your bills, but you don't care about it. But really what you're trying to push is something else. And I would rather support you in the thing that you're passionate about than know what you do for work and be like, yeah, go to work, have a good one. If I know you've got a side hustle that's much bigger, I'd rather encourage that side hustle than the 9 to 5. So I'm learning.
Are you even in the business of encouraging a guy right now, innit? As in, like,
I've encouraged everyone.
I'm saying, right now, isn't your, as in, like, it's not, it shouldn't really be a dating for potential vibe.
You cannot date for potential.
Yeah, so it has to be it's one of those ones. So what are you supporting exactly? Well done, basically.
So you know what? When I came in here, I said to you, "Do you still have your 9 to 5?" And I was like, everyone who I know who's successful has a creative outlet, whether they're doing it for their main thing or their side hustle.
I need to have a creative,
exactly,
or I can't be at work.
So I haven't asked you about what you're doing at work because you don't care about that.
I don't care about
this podcast.
I work. I care about I care about lots of things, isn't it? But work, like for instance, anyone that asks me questions about work, I work with and it's one of those ones. I can literally. I'm only on like but I could gas. As in terms, girls will have no idea what position I'm in. You could. I think the starting wage is probably about 31,000 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, but they see the and they're just like, wow.
They would have no idea. It can range to about even the partner, maybe about say 500,000 a year, isn't with say just under £1 million bonuses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Girls have no idea what niggas earn. What guys earn whatsoever in it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Honestly, I'm so much growth here. All that stuff, how much you're earning, your height, it doesn't matter. The values are so important, and not values on a surface level like, okay, we're both from this specific denomination of Christianity. I'm talking about like this person's moral compass, and if something was to go wrong in a situation, how do they approach it, which is linked to their values. Like those things are really important because those are the things that govern a person pretty much for all of their life. Everything else fluctuates. And those are the things that you have to be more adaptable with, because if you're going to stick it out with this soulmate, things are going to change.
How do you date? How do you date to find those values?
Why do you think I haven't dated? Because I don't fucking know.
I'm saying, but you just have to put yourself out there. At this point in time, the way I see it is literally just pray over it and then literally, basically, be very intentional with what you don't like. Yeah. I'm one of those people, isn't it? I see something, I literally just run away from it.
Yeah.
And it might not be good for me, but hey, I know for a fact what won't happen to me by doing this is I'm not going to be with somebody that I can't stand. Yeah. The worst thing that can ever happen to me is me marrying someone. Because I know that look that I will just give them. I might be sleeping with them and I'll just look and
try and put the pillow
this
over their
is
face.
my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to give that look to any girl.
I hear it. And it's fair. It's a fair observation.
Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the mud, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures, 3-course meals for dinners, 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different. Cause the bag is different.
This can't come out.